Let me save you a few years of frustration, especially if you're on a wellness journey, especially if you're over the age of 35 or 40. My name is Nikki Morris. I am the founder and CEO of Her Hive Collective. I lost more than 70 pounds starting in my mid-40s. I was 45 years old, went to the doctor, was told that I was 45% fat. I mean, that was a big wake up call for me. It's one thing to see the scale. You can kind of live in denial, which I did. I tell people I hit a high of 218, but that's only the number that I know. Now I'm pregnant. Okay. Pregnant, my highest weight was 220 recorded. Not pregnant, my highest recorded weight was 218, but I have to believe that it was much higher than that. 218 was where I stopped. After a certain point, I was like, you know what? I don't actually need to know. 218. Let me get to the point. I want to save you time. Here are some of the things that I wish I had stopped doing, because it's not all about starting something on a wellness journey, especially after 35, especially after 40. I was 45. Here are the things that I wish I had stopped doing way sooner than I did. Chasing those three numbers on the scale. For years, I was like 150. I gotta be 150. 150 is I had it burned into my brain that I needed to weigh 150 pounds. That was my ideal weight for my height and my build. When I got to 148 and didn't have a butt, didn't have strength, didn't feel like I looked and felt my best, it changed everything. And I had to realize that it wasn't the number on the scale. It was many numbers that my scale was taking that I had to look at. I had to look at my fat. I had to look at my bone density. I had to look at my visceral fat. And I had to look at my biometric age, right? I had to look at so many other factors. Yeah, I still pay attention to how much I weigh, but I pay more attention to my composition. And I use the Renfo scale to do that. I'll drop a link to it below in the description box. In my opinion, a smart scale is one of the most important tools that you have in your toolkit on your wellness journey. The second thing I wish I had stopped doing way sooner, starting over on Monday. For years, I'm like, okay, a Monday or the first of the month, or it was this whole mindset of I have to wait until the quote unquote beginning of something. When in reality, your life can begin over and can start over any day of the week. Next meal, next snack, you can start over right now. You do not have to wait for the beginning of the year or the beginning of the week or the beginning of the month in order for you to start. You don't have to wait until after your cruise, or you can literally reclaim your wellness and start right now. In this moment, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. Number 3, and I know so many women are telling me they're so sick of hearing about this, but it's true. If you hear about it because it's true, protein. I wish I had stopped under eating protein way sooner. Okay. I know you hear about it a lot, but that's for a reason. It's very important, especially after 35, especially after 40. So you got to get that protein in if you want, especially if you want to lose weight. If you want to lose weight and feel and look and operate in the most optimal way you can, you got to eat your protein. My recommendation for getting a quick 30 out the way at the top of your morning, 30, 30, 30. 30, 30, 30 method changed my life. I have a whole guidebook about it. I wish I had this guidebook in 2023 when I started my wellness journey. I wish that 3 years ago I had this book. That's why I wrote it, so that it could help you, because there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Like, I am a big believer on simplifying things, doing what works, not having to figure it out on your own. We're here to help each other. So let me help. Number 4, overdoing cardio. Cardio is important. Got to get that heart strong. I get it. But weight training, HIIT classes, yoga, stretching, really using my muscles and my body in a way that's functional. I believe more in functional movement. I believe more in making sure I'm being thoughtful about how I get out of the car, how I get off the couch, how I get up off the floor. Functional longevity. I really believe in moving my body in a way that it's going to strengthen it over time and help me support my longevity. The 5th thing that I wish I'd stopped doing way sooner was ignoring my hormones and my stress. If your doctor is not interested in talking about HRT, I'm going to recommend you find a new doctor. I've had doctors who didn't. They didn't want to talk about it, let alone actually put you on it. And that's fine. Maybe it's not right for you. But your doctor should be willing to go through the journey with you, get your blood panel, test everything, be willing to talk with you and help you understand yourself fully. Because sometimes you'll have a doctor who's like, oh, this is normal. For who? Says who? Who's normal? Is it my normal? Is it the normal? Don't settle at someone telling you it's normal for you to feel hot flashes or have brain fog or joint pain. All of those things and more are signs and symptoms of your hormones being off, and you deserve to be regulated. Full stop. You deserve to have a regulated nervous system. You deserve to have regulated and normalized hormones for you. The sixth thing that I wish I had stopped doing way sooner than 45 years old, changing how I ate. At 48 now, I cannot eat like I ate at 28 or 18 or even 38. I have to eat right for my body where it is now. I personally like to follow the blood type diet, but I recommend you find and follow what works for you. This is where biohacking is coming in so strong. Not everything that works for one person is going to work for another. Figure out what works for you, what helps your body feel supported and in optimal health. And the seventh thing that I wish I'd stopped doing way sooner was not paying as close attention to the labels. I had such a fear of carbs at one point that I'm like, okay, I got to cut carbs. And yes, you do have to manage what kind of carbs and how often and how much, but cutting them completely for me was not sustainable. I could do keto and see great results in terms of the scale going down, but overall it was not sustainable for me. And if it's not sustainable, what is the point? Learning how to focus on whole foods, focus on eating until I felt full, focus on how the food made me feel, and not simply looking for something to be low calorie or low carb or low whatever. The eighth thing that I would have stopped doing way sooner was not paying attention to my pelvic floor strength. Doing my Kegels, I've done them here and there when I think about it, but that really has made a huge difference in my overall wellness. And now I do them when I walk. I recommend that, when you're doing your exercise, go ahead and strengthen those too. You can work on them and nobody will even have to know that you're doing that exercise as well. If you're looking for a pelvic floor exerciser, I have one in my shop. I'll link that as well in the description box. The ninth thing that I wish I had not done, or I wish I had stopped doing, was waiting for motivation. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for, anything else. It may happen when it needs to, it may not. You can take charge. It goes back to that whole waiting until Monday. Do it when it works for you. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wait for the right time. There's no perfect time. The perfect time is when you start. And number 10, doing it by myself. This is part of the culture that so many of us live in. We are taught that you need to do it on your own, and that if you need help, something's wrong with you. Why can't you pull yourself up by your own bootstraps? We are not meant to do this by ourselves. Not any of it. Not the wellness piece, not parenting. We're not meant to do life alone. So if you need help, and you do, you need a circle, you need accountability partners, you need a doctor. The number one thing that I recommend that you do, create and build out your personal board of health directors. And that's the first pillar of Her Hive Collective. The second one is to nourish your body, because what you eat is so critical to everything else. The third pillar of Her Hive Collective is to move your body. And the fourth is prioritize your pleasure. They all work together and go together beautifully. And when you're ready to start incorporating them into your life, come back to this video, go through the checklist and see what can you do more and less of to support your journey. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? I tell women this all the time. Don't shoot for perfection, shoot for present. Simply show up for yourself. It's okay if you're imperfect. It's okay if you miss a beat or miss a workout or don't eat perfectly clean that day. But show up. Are you showing up for yourself long term, over time? Are you being consistent? That's the most important thing. I love y'all so much. I'm so excited to be doing long form content over here. If you follow me on TikTok or on Instagram, you know I do shorts and all that But this is, I think, a space that I'm really looking forward to sharing more and opening up even more with all of you. Please, please, please drop comments, questions. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see here. I also have the podcast over on Her Hive Collective. Please, I'll link that too. Please go over there and check that out. We have so many amazing episodes that are coming. I'm so excited. Such amazing interviews that I've been able to capture this month that will be publishing soon. But yeah, I think that's it for now. I don't have a lot of fancy stuff. I'm simply going to come to y'all pretty raw. Okay, and maybe later on it'll get a little bit more edited, a little bit more fancy. But right now, I think it's important that we simply start. Okay, and I'm excited to start over here. All right, I love y'all. Mwah.